Hey, we're Nominee and you're watching HeartSupport.
We're sorry because we don't understand.
I got diagnosed with bipolar when I was 17 in New Jersey. And I, like, as a kid, I didn't understand, like, how there wasn't something about myself that I couldn't control. You know, like, there was something about my life that I couldn't make a decision. You know, like, I wasn't the one making the decision about it. And, like, how the mind has so much control over the body, it just didn't make sense to me at the time. After I got the diagnosis, like, none of my friends, either none of them dealt with that issue, with any of those issues, or none of them talked about it. So to me, it was, like, just me, and I was a friggin' weirdo. You know what I mean? So I didn't tell any of my friends. You know, my parents knew, but, like, my brother and sister didn't even know. I made my parents not tell them. They figured it out a couple years later. I started getting on medications, and I just, like, hated it. I was just like a zombie on everything they put me on. And then I started getting really scared with the medications because, like, some of the medications would make me even more depressed. Yeah. Or it'd make it, like, impossible to feel, like, the highs. Not so much like mania, but it was impossible to feel happy. I just kind of felt like bummed all the time. So I just hid it from everybody, and then I started hiding my medications from my parents and not taking them, and I went through my entire life putting it aside and pretending everything was fine. And then when I moved to Austin, it was kind of a clean slate, and I was very ashamed of it, I guess I would say. And I didn't want any of them to know, but, you know, a couple months in, they're like, what's going on, like, with this guy? Like, he's pretty moody, you know what I mean? I met the girl that I'm dating right now, and she just made me feel so comfortable with myself. And I eventually ended up, after having, like, a couple, like, blowouts, I eventually, you know, that were completely because of my bipolar, because of, I was, you know, depressed, and I didn't know how to tell her. So she just thought that I was, you know, like an asshole. You know what I mean? I would, like, snap on her for no reason, well, what felt like for no reason to her, but I was, you know, just so depressed. And so I finally ended up telling her when she made me feel comfortable enough to do that. And then I told them, and then, like, I finally got to start using music as an outlet for it, and everything is just, nothing's perfect, but everything is so much better now. For me, there's two types of bad days, but, like, if you're referring to, like, a day where I'm feeling the depression side of it, I just don't want to get out of bed. And I will get out of bed, but I'll be, you know, wound up tight, like crazy, and I get really bad anxiety along with the depression. Like, gearing up for this tour, for some reason, like, I'm trying to help a few of my friends book tours right now, friends in other bands. Yeah. And I started getting really bad anxiety about it, and then it kind of transferred over into the tour that we're on right now, where the time came to, like, start packing for tour, and I was just a nervous wreck. But I'd say that's probably the worst part about it, is, like, faking it. But, you know, I've got to work. I can't not work. So I'll eventually drag myself out of bed, and then eventually start my work day, and, you know, I won't eat for the day unless my girlfriend notices that I haven't eaten, you know what I mean? But there's those kind of days, and then there's days where I'm really manic and I don't sleep. Yeah. So, you know, opposite ends of the spectrum, but both equally kind of terrible. Just my mind is just going and going and going, and I'm really happy while it's happening, which is, you know, that's weird in itself, to be that happy but know that it's not real. You know what I mean? To know that it's not, like, something that I'm doing that's making me happy. It's, you know, a chemical reaction that makes everything everyone around me says funnier. It makes everything that I see happier, and it makes, you know, reading bad news on the internet not as hard. And I wish that was the way I felt all the time. You know what I mean? But, like, to stay, like, right in the middle, it's really, really difficult. There's a lot of, like, you're gonna have to find your own concoction of medication, and it'll take years to get there. The manic side of it, I'd rather be manic than depressed. So if I'm feeling depressed when I wake up on tour and I've got to go play a show, at least that show is, like, my comfort zone. You know what I mean? That's where I feel most comfortable. So a lot of times I can kind of shake it almost, like if we're on tour. And it's easier to feel manic on tour for some reason for me, don't know why. But, you know, it actually being depressed on tour, I don't know if that's wood or not, but I haven't had to deal with it that much. I feel all right when I'm on tour. But that's not to say that I haven't played shows and, you know, been kind of worked up or depressed or anxious. I get really bad anxiety on tour. This morning I had food poisoning, and I was like, oh my, this is just anxiety. I'm just like, this is all anxiety about like going on to like starting the tour and, you know, doing this show. I thought for a second, I was like, damn, this is totally my anxiety. That's all it is.
We've been best friends the entire time we've been in this band, and like checking in and like just trying to like just be there, even if it's like going crazy and like you can't rationalize with them, and like totally like it sucks to deal with that, like just being like, cool man, like I'll take care of it, like we'll get to the show, like ain't a big deal, like, and just like, because it's like you're not gonna, in my opinion, I don't think you can like snap at someone out of something like that, you know, you just gotta be there, and whatever they need is tight, and you do that to your best of your ability. But like my go-to is like just taking stuff off his plate. Like he and I like run the band to a certain degree, and like if it's like he's advancing the show or whatever, like dude, I got it. It's like you go do what you got to do, and like we'll get there, we'll make it happen. Like don't worry about anything. You know?
Yeah. So. And you like, it makes it so much easier to have everybody who's willing to step up and help out. You know, like if I feel depressed, it doesn't come off as like, oh, Chris is bummed out. It comes across like Chris is like throwing a temper tantrum. You know what I mean? That's how it comes out, unfortunately. So they notice immediately, and none of them are like, oh, here we go again. They're just kind of like, all right, we got you, man. We'll take care of you. Like, what do you need us to do? You know what I mean? And I'm so thankful for that.